What is up, boys? We are back with another video, and today I want to talk a bit about bulking because I currently am trying to go on a mini bulk, get a little bit above my weight class so we can gain strength before my competition. And what we're going to do is called a fiber cut or a gut cut, which is this method where you remove all the fiber from your diet. You eat very specific foods. I don't know too much about the science and why it digests in a certain way, but basically these foods are extremely light. You're primarily going to be eating almonds, and the point of all of this, obviously once you bulked above your weight class, is specifically to remove all the waste inside your system. So all the poop is going to be cleared out of your digestive tract. And believe it or not, when you're weighing around my weight, which is going to be about 190 to 195 pounds when I'm done with this mini bulk, you're gonna lose about 9 to 10 pounds or 8 to 10 pounds. So it does make a very substantial difference. And obviously this is weight that doesn't actually contribute to your strength. So this is just free weight, free extra muscle that you could put on and really actually compete above your weight class that you compete in whatever sport you do. If you're a wrestler, if you fight in MMA, you're probably going to want to do a water cut, but in general, if you do consider this, it's a very great option. I personally am following, I believe his name is PR Performance's method, and I haven't done it before, so I'm really hoping it works. If not, I'm gonna be screwed and I'm gonna have to spit in a cup last second forever. But a little bit about the bulk. So whenever I bulk, I'm in this tough spot. When you're bulking, you're getting a lot more calories that are really hard to consume. If you're doing a proper bulk, then what you're going to learn is that every meal you're just going to be more full than the last. It's going to get harder and harder every single meal, and eventually you're going to wake up the next morning, you're still full. Yeah, you got to eat that meal. You're going to feel sick just 24/7. You're going to feel lethargic no matter what you're eating. So I really struggle in a debate on whether at that point it's better to eat more unhealthy, unclean foods that may impact your testosterone and make that bulk more smooth, actually help you achieve that goal weight, and then maintaining afterwards, which I don't think is much worse at all. I think you build a very similar amount of muscle in the same time because you have to think you're going to be bulking quicker, so then you end up maintaining for longer. I really think it does end up being a very similar amount of muscle. Or if I'm going to end up, sorry, got distracted. Or if I'm gonna end up doing a more strict diet where I'm focused on my testosterone and all that, so I feel better, I'm more driven, my strength is going to be impacted a lot more during that whole process. So it's just a debate I'm in. I don't really know the answer yet. When I do know the answer and do decide which one I actually prefer more, I'll let you guys know. But that's all I have for the bulk. Now, let me get into the gym and we'll start that video, start talking about the lift, start talking about the heavy-ass weight we are moving today. Alright, today we're using the Black Market's Defy Watermelon Lemonade Pre. And the other pre I've tried that was by Black Market and was collabed with Panda Supplements was my favorite pre I've tried. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's a double scoop pre with a big ass scooper. So I'm a little scared. I know this is gonna hit hard. It has 450 milligrams of caffeine per serving. It has a good dose of L-tyrosine. Talked about the benefits of L-tyrosine previously. And then dimethylamine is dosed sufficiently, and if I remember properly, that's a dopamine prerequisite. Make the workout a little more enjoyable. And then a lot of beta-alanine compared to what I normally take. For some reason, all the pre's I buy end up being low on beta-alanine. It says 5K, pretty normal dosage. So I personally like the tingles, but I know many people don't. Let's see how this pre-workout goes. That tastes really good, super happy with the taste. So I'm definitely gonna be loving that. Now let me get warmed up and I'll see you on the bench. All right, my headphones died, so we're gonna have to use the inner pre-workout, this workout, because I have a set of 305 for 2, and I'm pretty confident on it. Like I said, we've been building momentum, and what I'm gonna be showing you today is a lot about my setup, how I get so tight, step by step what I focus on. And I'm gonna be explaining that each set, each time I go up in weight, I'm gonna throw in another thing that you could add to your lift. Hopefully when you come in and hit your workout, you could sort of go and watch this video. Each warm-up set adds something like to the lift like I am doing for you. And that's how you're gonna really build that consistent form, learn exactly what you're doing. Right here, my first goal on my first warm-up set is getting as high as possible on my traps. I'm gonna be driving the top of my traps into the bench. Not the back, the top of them, right here. I actually hate wearing beanies when I'm benching because it makes that a lot more difficult. The beanie sort of unrolls on the back of your neck. When you're driving, it's just annoying, so I'm taking this off. This next set, we're going to be adding in thoracic spine extension. So first thing we're doing is getting on our traps. Now I'm using my legs to extend my thoracic spine. If you don't know what this feels like or what you're actually going for, I want you to keep your belly flat and point your chest towards the ceiling. That you're gonna feel your back extend, your upper back. That's thoracic spine extension. That's the best spot to be in when you're benching. That's where you're gonna be the most dominant over the bar. All right, now we're adding in the tension from the legs. This is how we're gonna stabilize it, pull all the form together. You really wanna drive with your quads, push through your heels into the floor away from you. That's gonna be solely just what stabilizes you, keeps you in position. Around this time, I also throw on the belt because I feel like it helps me transfer force more into my upper body. So I'm gonna real quick show how I create tension. Normally, you want to start the leg drive before you set your butt down when you're creating tension in your body. This is because the position you have with your butt up, you normally cannot hold without some sort of factor holding you in that position. And in this case, it's going to be your legs. That's why you see people who lose their arch when they start Larson pressing or whatever. It's solely because they don't have that tension from their legs stabilizing their body. Now I could make a whole video just talking about the do's and don'ts, but I told you the main setup things. I could also talk about bulldog grip, how you want to have a pronated grip, all that random stuff, your scapula. A lot of people say it should be retracted. I personally don't believe that. It works against your chest. But I'm gonna hit this set and mainly just focus on those things I gave you with creating tension throughout your body. It's gonna really help you use your pecs to their fullest potential, transfer force well into the bar. Alright, now that we're on to the top set, I'm getting an unrack because the unrack really helps you maintain that tension. You don't have to press and bring your body out of the position you put it in to get the bar out over you. So 305 for a set of 2. It's gonna be extremely light. Let's get it. Holy shit. That moved fucking fast.
That was pretty good.
That set right there moved extremely good. Super happy with it. I knew it was gonna move good, but that kid just makes me super excited for next session. It's the best feeling when you're in the gym and you're just ready to get into the next session. Really happy with how your lifts are moving. It's another underrated aspect of momentum. Really gives you a sense of pride with your lifts moving forward and going up every single session. You really could work towards something and get excited about some end goal that you're pushing towards. So when you're in the gym, don't just focus on how you're doing right now. Focus on the end goal, get excited for it, really get motivated to keep going consistently. That's why a lot of people quit after like 6 months in the gym. They stop seeing newbie gains, so they think, oh, I'm not making as much progress. I don't want to stay consistent anymore. They fall out a week, come back in. It's just this endless cycle. If you really chase some sort of end goal, some pride. I was originally chasing the state record. I got the state record, and I moved on to national record. Always have a goal you want. It doesn't have to be that big. It could be a personal physique goal. Maybe you started off overweight and you want to see abs. That's gonna take some time. That's not gonna be just chasing the best pump one time, because then when you have bad sessions or mediocre sessions, you're not gonna stay consistent. All right, so because this week is going so good, the weight's moving amazing, I wanna real quick think what we did last week to facilitate this. And when we think about it, I was pretty sick last week. I wasn't feeling too good. I was building a lot of fatigue because of that. So what did we do to make sure this week stays consistent and on track and moving really good like it did today? Well, we cut down our fatigue on accessories. We stayed around RP 6. Now that we're not sick anymore, we want to maintain that same sort of fatigue pattern. So my accessories are going to be right about RP 8 today. We're gonna stay a little away from failure. Don't want too much fatigue, but around RP 8 is when we can cap the amount of muscle we build. It's worth the trade-off for a bit more fatigue than RP 6. Back to the dips. Something I didn't mention about dips last session is part of the reason we're trying to be so explosive with them, explode up, is because there's actually studies that show when you move a weight as fast as you possibly can, in this case your body's the weight, it recruits more muscle fibers. Your body actually recruits more when you press harder or press with more intent to be explosive. So that's why I'm doing these, not necessarily just for the muscle stimulation, but to give myself something that's really explosive, really quick movement to drive that into my workout, because this heavier weight where I gotta create all this tension on bench, I'm not going to be able to press as hard as I possibly can without losing positioning or whatever. So I'm gonna real quick hit this set, really feel that stretch, slow, deep contraction, don't go past 90 degrees, and we're gonna explode up for 8 reps. Now that that set is done, I'm gonna go ahead and do some dead hangs. There's a lot of people talking about this recently, so I'm not gonna get into it much, but the reason I do dead hangs is simply to decompress my spine, because powerlifting is all compression. So doing a quick dead hang where you really relax your body helps elongate it, makes you a lot healthier in the long run, helps prevent any joint issues, back issues, etc. Makes you feel taller, more upright. You're gonna breathe better because your lungs are more open. So a lot of benefits to it. I'm just gonna real quick end my workout. 20, 30 second dead hang, even 40 if I feel like it, if I'm really feeling the stretch. Now, I'm gonna do that. I'll meet you in the posing room. All right, boys, we are feeling extremely pumped. really shoulders, upper chest, all that extremely full. Now remember, I've been solely powerlifting for a while. I did a quick power building phase just to build muscle, but it was solely oriented towards bench, squat, and deadlift. So my proportions are a little bit off. If you're wondering why I may look slightly less aesthetic, it's because of that. It's not that I got smaller or any muscles got smaller. It's that other muscles actually got bigger, and those muscles getting bigger contributed to a less aesthetic physique because now it's a bit out of proportion. But after my comp, we're going to go into a more bodybuilding phase where I'm going to be solely focusing on building muscles that I slacked on, such as my biceps, my rear delts, my upper chest. Now, my upper chest is something that's not too bad. It's actually pretty good because testosterone makes your upper chest grow a lot, even with very little stimulus on it, solely because that's where most of your androgen receptors are. But here's the quick posing session. I'm not going to show my legs today, but that's where I've actually made the most progress in the last year. My legs used to be very jello-y, very little definition, but very large. Now they're really carved in. You could see the definition, the striations on my legs, and I don't quite have veins yet, but that's the goal. Once we start bodybuilding and don't have to care about weight, don't have to bulk, then we could start really focusing on building the veins and the definition and the striations and all that. All right, boys, workout is complete. Thank you for watching. Remember, as lifelong learners, perspicacity is our grindstone for success. Keep on grinding, boys.